I think you agree that Hollywood stars of the 70s and 80s were not just actors. They were the trailblazers who made Hollywood what it is today. Their performances were groundbreaking, and the truth is that no matter where life takes them, they'll always hold a special place in our hearts. From the silver screen to the small screen, these legends have graced us with unforgettable moments that we'll cherish forever. But where are they now? That's the question we're here to answer as we take a stroll down memory lane and catch up with the likes of Michael Gross, Melissa Sue Anderson, and several other stars that you may have missed on your screens. Jennifer Grey. In the 1980s, the beautiful Jennifer Grey was making waves in Hollywood. Her role in Dirty Dancing had put her on the map, and she was preparing to take on even more roles. But in the process of improving herself, she made a bad decision that damaged her career. As a girl that grew in the midst of actors, she became interested in acting at a very young age. Her father, the award-winning actor and dancer Joel Grey, and her mother, former actress Jo Wilder, were like her role models, as they were a walking, breathing representation of what a career in Hollywood was like. Her grandfather, Mickey Katz, was a comedian and musician, so it's safe to say the talent of entertainment ran in her family. After theater school, Jennifer knew for a fact that she wanted to become an established actress. She would initially make her commercial debut in an ad at the age of 19, and shortly after, she got a minor role in the 1984 film Reckless. As someone who already understood the inner workings of the industry, she wasn't expecting her success to be instantaneous. She took on a few more small roles before she finally got a major break in the comedy film Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Shortly after, she got yet another major role in the film Dirty Dancing. People all over the world fell in love with her character in the movie, and that was certainly the movie that catapulted her to fame. In a bid to improve her looks, she made a decision to undergo 2 rhinoplasty surgeries. She instantly regretted this decision because the procedures changed her look completely and made her unrecognizable. Although she has appeared in some series and films, none has come close to her role in Dirty Dancing. In 2010, she came back to the spotlight as a contestant on the 11th season of the show, Dancing with the Stars. In more recent years, the actress, who is now 64 years old, has been busy doing things that spark joy. Her and her longtime partner, Clark Gregg, got divorced in 2021. The actress now has recurring roles in TV shows and has successfully published her memoir titled Out of the Corner, a Memoir. Goldie Hawn. This beautiful, bright-eyed actress stepped into Hollywood with a light that could not go unnoticed. Sure, she had the looks, but it was her light-hearted, laugh-in persona that made people gravitate towards her on screens. After her film debut in the one and only genuine original Family Band, she got a role that completely changed the trajectory of her career. In the late 1960s, she appeared in the film Cactus Flower, and that was officially the beginning of her success in Hollywood. After winning an Academy Award for her role in the film, she knew that she could achieve whatever she wanted to achieve in the industry. She would later appear in a series of comedy films and even went on to release a solo country LP titled Goldie. Although some of the movies she appeared in flopped, she always had a way of standing out amongst other stars. She poured her heart and soul in every role until she realized that it was time to try something else. In a later interview, she spoke about the period in her life when she realized it was time for a change. In her words, "I wanted to go live somewhere for a while, learn archaeology, or take part in healing the world on some level." Hawn continued, "I wanted to dig deep and say, who am I now? What do I have to offer? What do I have to learn?" I started learning about the brain, psychology, and after 9/11 I decided, I know what I'm going to do. As someone who had no interest in remaining stagnant, Goldie decided to keep creating, but in a different way. She wrote 2 books and went on to create an educational program called Mind Up. Goldie has always been passionate about helping people and began to help people in different parts of the world through her nonprofit organization. Over the years, her organization has been focused on providing youth education programs focused on helping young people perform better academically. She is also known for her radical support of the LGBTQ community. The actress, who is now 78 years old, continues to support causes that she is passionate about, and she is changing the lives of people in different parts of the world through her nonprofit organization. Although she hasn't officially retired, she doesn't take on roles often anymore. Meryl Streep. Truth be told, Meryl Streep's name is practically synonymous with Hollywood royalty. Back in the day, she ruled the silver screen like no other. She was one of the few actresses that took on her roles excellently, and it was clear from the very beginning that she was the kind of actress that could not be replaced. It all started with her breakthrough role in the 1978 film The Deer Hunter, but it was her performance in 1979's Kramer vs. Kramer that really put her on the map. That role earned her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and from there she just kept knocking it out of the park. Loving her came easy, and people were particularly intrigued by her uncanny ability to disappear into her characters. You forget you're watching Meryl Streep, you're just watching the character she's become. Also, she always has this versatility that's just mind-blowing. Drama, comedy, musicals, you name it, she nails it. If you're wondering what she's been up to lately, you should know that she's still making waves. In 2014, she established not one but 2 scholarships at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. It's clear that she is the kind of person who is all about giving back and helping people. But that's not all. She is also supporting female screenwriters who are over 40. She's all about empowering women in the industry, and she puts her money where her mouth is. Something else you should know about her is that Meryl is a fierce feminist who's never been afraid to speak her mind. She has openly condemned discrimination against women and fought for equality every step of the way. She is also still very much active in the entertainment industry. In 2023, she popped up in the anthology series Extrapolations, showing she's still got that acting magic, and she's set to reprise her role in the 4th season of the comedy series Only Murders in the Building. Clearly, Meryl Streep is still a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood, still making us all sit up and take notice. Richard Dean Anderson. The young girls loved him and the guys wanted to be like him. Richard Anderson was the definition of charming and talented. He colored screens with his presence, and his fans never imagined a time when he would be off screens. There is no denying that Richard Dean Anderson had a remarkable journey on television during the 70s and 80s, particularly with his portrayal of various characters. However, it's worth noting that he is perhaps best known for his role as Angus MacGyver in the television series MacGyver, which aired from 1985 to 1992. This role catapulted him to stardom and left a mark on pop culture. As MacGyver, Anderson played a resourceful and ingenious secret agent who could solve complex problems using his scientific knowledge and everyday items, famously avoiding violence whenever possible. Anyone who watched his performance would have seen that he took on the character in a unique way, and audiences were captivated by MacGyver's intellect and creativity. While Anderson's role as MacGyver undoubtedly defined his career, he also appeared in other notable projects throughout the years. After MacGyver, he continued to act in television series and made guest appearances in various shows. Notable roles include his portrayal of Colonel Jack O'Neill in the science fiction series Stargate SG-1, which aired from 1997 to 2007. Anderson's portrayal of O'Neill garnered praise for its wit, humor, and depth of character. People loved Anderson not only for his acting skills, but also for the relatable and down-to-earth persona he brought to his characters. There was something incredibly likable about him, whether he was playing the hero or the guy next door. While Anderson hasn't been as active in the acting scene since around 2013, he's been keeping himself busy with some truly commendable endeavors. He's been deeply involved with various environmental organizations, lending his support to causes aimed at preserving the planet. In fact, he's on the board of advisors for the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, showing his commitment to marine conservation. Recently, the sight of Anderson running errands in his Malibu neighborhood caused quite a stir among fans. Although he looked quite different from his on-screen days, it's clear that he's relishing his time away from the spotlight. And hey, who can blame him? Everyone deserves a bit of peace and quiet, especially after a lifetime of entertaining audiences and making a positive impact beyond the screen. Michael Gross. Back in the day, he was the epitome of cool on the screen, and even now, people still wonder what he's been up to lately. But before we uncover what he has been doing, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Gross hit the big time with his role as Stephen Keaton on the hit sitcom Family Ties. Man, he brought such a warm and relatable vibe to the show. While everyone else was all about the antics, Gross brought this grounded, fatherly presence that really set him apart from his co-stars. You couldn't help but feel like he was the anchor of the Keaton family, holding them all together with his charm and wit. After Family Ties, Gross didn't slow down one bit. He kept popping up in all sorts of roles. He had this knack for picking characters that stick with you, and in the midst of all that Hollywood hustle, he found love with screenwriter Elsa Bergeron. They tied the knot in '84, and they're still going strong. Here is something you may not know about Gross. He is a serious railroad enthusiast, aka a rail fan. He's got this massive collection of railroad antiques that would make any train aficionado swoon. And you know what else? Since 2009, he's been the face of the B&O Railroad Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. One of his most recent roles was as Burt Gummer in Tremors' Shrieker Island back in 2020. But nowadays, he's living more of a low-key life, soaking up the joys of being a husband, a rail enthusiast, and an all-around awesome human being. Joan Van Arc. Most people who became Joan's fans thought she was good-looking, but Joan never felt this way about herself. Her life has been a long battle of trying to conquer her insecurities. But before the insecurities and obsession with her looks, she was a young girl who was inspired to become an actress. When she was only 15, the wide-eyed Joan, who was brimming with curiosity, was a student reporter. That was the period that she had the opportunity to meet and interview a seasoned actress named Harris. Something sparked within her during that encounter, igniting a passion that would shape her destiny. Inspired by Harris's charisma and talent, Joan decided to chart her own course in the world of acting. Fast forward to her glory days in Hollywood, and Joan was a force to be reckoned with. The role that truly made her to stardom was in the series Dallas, portraying the character Valene Ewing. There was a certain intensity in her performances that left audiences spellbound, craving more. Following her breakout role, Joan continued to shine in a variety of projects. From gripping dramas to lighthearted comedies, she proved her unique talent time and again. But while she was making waves in the industry, she grew insecure about her looks. An insider who has known her for a while said, "She never truly liked the way she looked, and once she had money to burn, she tried to make herself pretty with plastic surgery. Unfortunately, it does not seem to have worked to Van Arc's benefit." Despite the failed surgeries, she continued to focus on her passions. Joan wasn't just a powerhouse on screen, she was also a force to be reckoned with off-screen. A dedicated long-distance runner, she conquered 14 marathons with grit and determination. Her passion for running even landed her on the cover of Runner's World magazine, inspiring countless others to lace up their sneakers and hit the pavement. Now, in her 70s, Joan shows no signs of slowing down. Still happily married to her high school sweetheart, she remains as devoted to her craft as ever. With a twinkle in her eye and a spring in her step, she continues to grace both the big and small screens with her presence, proving that age is just a number when it comes to following your passion. In a recent interview, she said, "My dream is to do something way unexpected, like play a biker girl. I know there's one more big one for me. Tom Skerritt." Back in '70 and beyond, he was the go-to guy for bringing characters to life. With over 40 films and a staggering 200 television episodes under his belt, you could say he was pretty much everywhere you looked. But these days, he is living life far away from the spotlight. Tom Skerritt found fame through his role as Captain Dallas in the iconic sci-fi horror flick Alien. That movie was a game changer, and Skerritt's performance was just stellar. Besides his undeniable talent, it was clear that he was a versatile actor who could slip into any role, whether it was a rugged cowboy, a smooth-talking detective, or a brave astronaut facing down extraterrestrial horrors. Also, there was something about his presence on screen that just commanded attention. But these days, he's traded the glamour for the tranquility of nature. You won't find him rubbing elbows at fancy Hollywood parties anymore. He is chilling out in the laid-back vibes of Seattle, soaking in the peace and quiet, painting and carving wood in his free time. Can you believe it? Let's just say Tom Skerritt has found his zen. He also says that he is perfectly happy with it all, content as can be, just living life at his own pace. In his words, "I live in a place that's like going on vacation. I look up, I see Lake Washington. I may see an otter on the neighbor's dock, an eagle flying in the air, mountains in the distance, and a little smoke from a forest fire. All of this stuff is a beautiful world. This is all creative input. That's the way I've lived my life since I've been an adult." Glenn Close. She was an absolute powerhouse in the 70s and 80s. It was difficult to imagine Glenn Close doing anything other than acting. But these days, the 77-year-old actress has immersed herself in other passions. Of all her roles, it's difficult to forget her role as the chillingly manipulative Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction in 1987. People couldn't get enough of her intense portrayal of a woman scorned, and she earned herself an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress for that performance. Close also wowed audiences as the strong-willed and determined lawyer in The Big Chill in 1983, a film that resonated deeply with the baby boomer generation. Over the years, Close has been a fierce advocate for women's rights and mental health awareness. She's poured her heart and soul into organizations like Bring Change to Mind, fighting against the stigma surrounding mental illness. She is also a generous donor and has given thousands of dollars to mental health associations. In March 2023, it was announced that Close is set to star in the upcoming film, The Summer Book. Looks like she's still bringing her A-game to the big screen, and fans couldn't be more excited to see what she'll do next. Melissa Sue Anderson. Melissa started her journey into showbiz as a child actress, getting her feet wet in the vibrant world of commercials in Los Angeles. Even from those early gigs, it was clear she had a spark that would take her places. But it was her role in Little House on the Prairie that really shot her to stardom. Playing the sweet and spirited Mary Ingalls, Melissa won the hearts of viewers around the globe. The show became an iconic piece of television history, and Melissa's portrayal of Mary cemented her status as a household name. Beyond Little House, Melissa had quite a few career successes under her belt. She tackled various roles in both television and film, showcasing her skills as an actress, but it was her time on the prairie that truly defined her career. In 1990, Melissa crossed paths with television writer and producer Michael Sloan, and the two hit it off. They tied the knot, marking a new chapter in Melissa's personal life. After years of gracing screens big and small, Melissa eventually decided to step back from acting. In an interview, she revealed why she stopped acting. In her words, "I really stepped away from acting a long time. I was completely retired for 5, 6, 7 years, and then I've done little tiny things since, but that was really for the kids, so they would have their own sense of who they were as opposed to being with me." In 2007, Melissa became a naturalized citizen of Canada, embracing a new chapter in her life. And in 2010, she opened up about her experiences in her autobiography, The Way I See It, a look back at my life on Little House, giving fans an intimate glimpse into her journey. These days, Melissa keeps busy with her passions and interests. Melissa is quite the activist on social media, using her platform to shine a light on pressing issues close to her heart. When she's not busy advocating for change, you might catch Melissa enjoying some downtime. She's a proud mom, a movie buff, a tennis enthusiast, and a fitness lover. Linda Ronstadt. She was like a musical force of nature. It was obvious that Linda Ronstadt truly loved music, and she poured her heart and soul into every song. Sadly, fate dealt her an ugly hand, and she is no longer making music. Linda's journey began with gigs at the iconic Troubadour in West Hollywood. That spot was practically a launch pad for many aspiring musicians, and Linda definitely soared from there. She had this knack for blending different styles, tweaking her sound until she found her groove. Before you knew it, she was being hailed as the Queen of Rock and the First Lady of Rock by the national media. With over 30 gold and platinum records under her belt and a whopping 10 Grammy wins, Linda was an unstoppable force in the music industry. Her voice was like magic, weaving tales and emotions that resonated with millions around the world. But life threw her a curveball in 2013 when she revealed her diagnosis with Parkinson's disease. It was heartbreaking news for her fans, and it ultimately led to her retirement from singing. However, Linda didn't let that stop her from staying active in the music and cultural scene. She found a new avenue for her passion through a partnership with Los Enzantles, a Mexican cultural arts academy in San Pablo. It's inspiring to see her continuing to contribute to the industry despite the challenges she faces. In 2012, Linda also shared her journey and experiences in her memoir, Simple Dreams, a musical memoir. She also has a book titled Feels Like Home, a song for the Sonoran borderlands, which further showcases her deep connection to music and culture. So, while Linda may have stepped away from the spotlight, her legacy continues to shine brightly, showing us that even in the face of adversity, the music never truly stops.